Welcome back into the Play the Fights on College Football show. Another big time week is here. It's bowl season, week 3. Bowls are in full swing. We got the New Orleans Bowl rolling right now with Southern Miss currently leading Western Kentucky 16-13. Gentlemen, bowl season is awesome. There is constantly games on the TV, middle of the workday. You know, you're wrapping up your busy season or going into holiday season. And so we're here tonight to talk more bowl games as well as recap the first round of the college football playoff and briefly preview the second round, which has awesome matchups. What's the problem, Jay? What's the problem, JP? He's giggling.
Yeah, what is going on over here? What's
Jake's
going on over
mic
here?
movement is not as quick as it is.
He is gripping that fucker.
I'm not. My hand's not even moving. I'm
It
confused.
it's a little bit. You get a little bit.
However, welcome into the show. Make sure you hit the like button,
Really?
hit the subscribe button. Thanks for joining us. Everybody's kind of traveling right now. So Reese is actually on a
undisclosed location.
Couch, prospect,
Undisclosed
not
location.
being a recruit, undisclosed, but he's in a living room. Jake's back home. JP and I are in the normal studio as we are here for week 3 of bowl previews. That entails a lot.
Cheers.
So tonight we will preview 5 main matchups, cover the rest of them through categories, as well as break down the second round of the college football playoff.
Look at our boy's in town.
GA.
Yeah, GA in Omaha is where I am. Location 402,
That's
the
for you,
best place
boy.
in the world. He'll be
Shout out
listening
GA.
later. Shout out to GA and everybody that's listened to the show over this season. Little reflection, Merry Christmas wise. Appreciate you. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. We've grown a ton this season. Couldn't do it without you. So appreciate everybody listening to the show tonight. Let's talk to the boys more in depth. Jake, how we doing tonight? Traveling for family, ready for Christmas festivities, or ready to talk football only?
Nothing better than sitting in my parents' basement, New Orleans Bowl on the TV, got a beverage over here, and just hanging out with the boys, talking college football the night before Christmas. My favorite holiday, as you guys know, as everybody knows on this show. Before my favorite game of the year, the night before
Christmas.
the night before the best college football game of the entire season.
Which is the Hawaii Bowl.
Yep,
Plug.
thank you. It doesn't involve that tournament. Yep.
Jake,
so
we're not opening presents tomorrow, right? We've covered this before.
Oh yeah, we open presents Christmas Eve every year. Santa comes here every year, Christmas Eve.
What do you do Christmas Day?
Santa's never missed Christmas Eve here in Carroll.
That's a big time question.
What's that?
That's a big time
You guys
question.
have
Clear Christmas Eve versus Christmas Day openings.
Yeah, never missed it. We went out of town for family Christmas one year, and Santa he delivered that night, but we didn't come back till Christmas Day that in particular time. But yeah, Santa's never missed Christmas Eve here at this house.
Not
Reese,
the Shaper household,
JP.
by the way.
Yeah, Reese,
Yeah,
JP,
I do,
Christmas Day, guys.
Extended family Christmas Eve night, and then immediate family, we all do our presents Christmas Day.
Okay,
we only get
that's
one
correct.
present traditionally on Christmas Eve. Like when we were growing up, it was just a new pair of pajamas to sleep in. So
Hulk hands.
My
Chewbacca mask.
my family was all Christmas Day. You had to wait till last minute. However, I will come clean. I was the peak kid. Like I knew what I was getting.
I have, and I
Oh,
think
go
I told
Mav.
you guys this story.
Go Mav.
about Christmas Day. So when we were growing up, me and my brother's rooms were pretty similar. They're pretty close to each other across the hall. Mom's was on the other side of the house. My brother wanted to just open presents. Nobody wanted to get up at this point in time. This is when I've got the hint, he doesn't quite have the hint thing.
And
Nobody's
Don't-
getting up.
The hint thing.
I
Shay,
just
think
said
about
hint.
it.
That's
No,
all I
I-
said, man.
no
It's a
hint.
kid-friendly show. We're not trying to,
Yep.
So I won't wake up. Mom doesn't want to wake up. Give us another hour. So we do. And we're like, oh, okay. He never came back and got us. He really listened. No. Old Brett was under the tree, had opened every single present under the
Dude's
tree.
been a
whether
menace
that was-
since he
yeah,
was a toddler.
Whether it
He's
was
always been a menace.
his, mine, mom's, otherwise, like all of them. So
Well, you should have woken up.
Cat's out of
Sounds like it
cat's
was
out
a
of the
you
bag
problem.
at that point.
Yeah, you ever heard early bird gets the worm, JP? That's what
Yep.
happens.
First come,
That's why
first
the
serve in the
presents are
Pierce
labeled.
household.
You guys will probably make fun of me, but that's like we've talked about this before. But so we do like immediate family Christmas Eve, like it's like we're presents for each other Christmas Eve. But
Yep.
Christmas morning, obviously Santa comes by, but Santa never wrapped the presents at my house. They were just out on the.
Oh,
He's
on
a
like
busy
the
man. He's
carpet.
got to get going.
Because it's like because it's like it was just me and my sister. There was an 8-year difference. So there's just never, it was never like what her would be hers would be mine. So it was like obviously like Legos, Xbox, all that stuff. Like so, just something was ever wrapped.
That was never for your
Santa
sister.
They didn't do
Santa
wrapping
just
paper.
spread them out there.
Your
Santa didn't
sister
wrap
never
them. Santa
asked
didn't
for
wrap
Legos?
for Christmas mornings. Nope.
Wow. I've never heard
I've
that.
heard that before. I've also heard people wrap them instead of like from Santa or from mom or from whatever, they put a hint on what it is on the from. So like it'd be like if you got a new Xbox, it'd be like from Microsoft Studios or something weird.
Oh, nice. Yeah, nice.
There's some
Clever,
other
I
shit
guess.
going on in
Like,
the
there's
world
some
that I
cool
was
traditions
not.
out there.
I guess everybody just did it my way, I thought, but that's absolutely stunning information. And now I got to get back on track. But let's talk college football, gents. Let's go into the college football playoff. Let's talk the second round matchups that are as shown below on the screen. If you're listening on podcast from left to right, Miami, Ohio State, Oregon, Texas Tech,
God,
Alabama,
looks like
Indiana, and Ole Miss and Georgia.
Should we
games.
give the people? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but should we give people a
But he
heads up
did.
how we're going to be previewing this? We might be going New Year's Eve day.
Correct.
Yeah.
That will
Just wanna-
probably
just
be the
wanna
next
give the
time you
listeners a
talk
heads
to
up.
us. Yeah, it's a good plug there. New Year's Eve, early morning, mid-morning time frame for the live show. We will preview the second round, which we will have a game that night, and the other three the day following on New Year's Day in 2026. The game that night will be Miami and Ohio State. Guys, what do you think about these matchups? Let's give your kind of combined recap of the first round. Obviously, there's been a ton of college football content out there, bashing the G5, whatever the hell they want to say. What'd you take away from the games as well as the matchups they created, Jake?
Yeah, everybody. I mean, I've been pretty vocal about it. Everybody just likes to complain about things, but now I don't know what there is to complain about with these four matchups that we're getting
agree.
next week because it's setting up to be an awesome
I've
one.
heard
Even
some.
there, I'm sure there have been. I try to stay away from it because I'm over it at this point because we have four games under 10-point spreads, three of which are under a touchdown spread. So anything can go with these first round or these quarterfinal matchups. I think they're going to be awesome. I know we'll get into them a little more in depth, obviously, next week. Personal favorite, just like thinking about it, looking at it. Maybe it's the Big 12 in me, but I really do think that the Texas Tech Oregon game is fascinating. And obviously Vegas thinks so too. What is it right now? Does anybody know?
1.5 in favor of Oregon.
Just to pick them up until this point. Both teams got to travel east and play in Miami. So it's not really favoring one or the other as far as like location wise. I think this one's just going to be phenomenal on both sides. And I think that Oregon offensive line versus Texas Tech defensive lines, it's going to be great. I think that's my personal favorite. I'm looking forward to the most.
JP, what if I told you, rewind the clock, let's say 4 years ago, right? You just graduated college, you're just going in, football season kicks off, and I tell you, hey, at the end of this season, Indiana is going to be a touchdown favorite in the Rose Bowl over Alabama. What would you tell me? You would say, what are you smoking?
Is Nick Saban
Let me get a hit
coaching
of that.
or Indiana now or what?
Let me get a hit of that.
This is a cool one though. I wrote down a couple of things. What's the approach for IU on this? I think that they've been pretty straightforward and they've played to their strengths. Signetti's not going to shy away from anything. Is it just going to be like, let's live in the run game and beat Alabama that way and just let our pass game open up after that? Because I feel like they're going to be able to do both. If I'm them, I'm not too worried about the inability to run the ball or the inability to throw it vertically. They got the pieces on the outside. And then to me, like, are you going to get a Ty Simpson again? I think he's going to have to be dealing with a ton of pressure. Indiana is one of the best in the country getting after the quarterback and one of the best on the back end. And so is he going to be under control again? And similar to the Oklahoma game where you just kind of came out in the second half of that down 17 and it was no turnovers. It was efficiency, clean pocket, ball in and out. Is he going to be able to do that again? Or we're going to start to see the turnover show due to that? Because Indiana does that really well, right? They pressured Julian Sain a ton in that Big Ten title. They got to Dante Moore a ton in Eugene. They got to Gronowski. Like every week they've gotten to teams. And so it's kind of interesting to me to like, are you going to get that side of him where no mistakes are going to happen? Or are you going to fall victim to another the situation where Indiana gets after the quarterback and makes things hurt and just leans on you until you snap?
You know what I'm interested to figure out too is as this 12-team playoff starts to, we get more years into this, we start to figure out some things and lean towards different ways. Didn't every team that played the first round won last year? I know the seeding was different and it it hurt. Like obviously, like Texas had to play Arizona State,
Who would
and
be one that did not?
Ohio State, Notre Dame,
Penn
Texas,
State.
Texas won,
Texas
Penn
won.
State. They all won. All the teams that played the week prior won. Now these
That's
matchups are
first rust.
completely. They're
Huh?
completely. Yeah, it is completely different than this year as far as like the seeding wise. It helps with
You
that,
got
but
the
we're gonna
buys.
find out if
Yeah.
that bye week was helpful or hurtful, or maybe it just didn't matter and it's like a 2-2 split or
It's a
something.
couple bye weeks, man. I mean, these games aren't until midweek next week. Like that's a lot of time, especially
But-
even if you didn't play in
I
a
lo-
Big Ten title game. Or
But all of them did. All
No.
of them played in conference title games, so they've played
Yeah, that's
relatively recently, I guess. But still, like it's about 2.5 weeks off.
yeah,
There's also part of me that wants to just kind of use these games as now a get back to like the college football fans that have been filling the G5 narrative and get them in a different thing. Like I want this Miami, Texas Tech, Indiana, Ole Miss Final Four to like, all right, now what do you got to say? Like, here's these teams.
People always
and
find something, man. They will.
y-
They always
will.
do.
They find a narrative to try and change the sport drastically. I mean, you plug
Did-
Duke and
did-
Virginia in there, and we've talked about this before, and I texted it in there. Do you feel those games went differently with Duke or Virginia playing on the road at Ole Miss?
No.
Like,
Do-
what are we talking about here?
It's the part that's scaring me a little bit is that college football, at least this playoff narrative, is turning into a little bit of like politics to me, like how people view politics. Everyone's always got a better idea than the other person. If you disagree, you're stupid. We always change it. We're always trying to change it to make the playoff better, and still that's never good enough. Like it's starting to get to that kind of disgusting narrative, I think, a little bit. And that is what's worrying me the most.
Well, I think Fornelli said it could do where it's like this is the one-off where this crazy thing happens, so everybody freaks out and thinks they need to change it.
Mhm.
Like this just happened because of what happened to the ACC. Like
Yeah.
next year we'll be back to one G5 team being in, and all will go back to being normal. And there's probably gonna be a blowout game there too. So it's like you don't got to freak out when one thing doesn't go the way you think it is, and like everybody's gonna be upset about it. And like if you wrote the rules, like the G5s. You set up these rules, told them to do these things.
Yep.
They did those things, and they should be rewarded for doing those things.
Well, this
like,
is also your fault
That's how that works.
Sorry, the first round of the playoff is the only 4 college football games you watch in a season. Like that's not my problem. There's been tens of 20s of better, awesome games throughout the whole year, and there will continue to be good games. But you wait until this tournament, and it's not what college football is about.
People got their opinions. They're not going to switch sides. That's kind of the story, right? Like you either think they belong or you don't think they belong, and you're not going to. As much as you want to say you'll hear the other side, you're not going to hear the other side.
People don't.
That's fair. The first round brought us one higher seed winning that matchup, and that was the Miami Hurricanes over Texas A&M in Gig'em Land. Fellas, that was an impressive win. We have a little bit of a duty to eat our words. I think we had Texas A&M pretty much across the board. We had people in the comments with that 2020 hindsight after the game saying how dumb we were. And
Carson Beck didn't throw for a single touchdown.
Which is sure, you do it. I would appreciate the comment. But fellas, that was a dogfight of a ball game. And honestly, JP, a really well-played game, as long as it's a part of the SEC and the ACC.
He's putting it on a T for JP.
Yeah, man, I tried to make that a funny meme, and honestly, went through a complete just inability to think. So I texted Jake. I thought it was going to be funny here, and I'm not creative enough.
It's just simple. Switch the logos in that game, and it's an ugly.
I tried to use
game.
the Bart Simpson meme, where it's like say the thing and he says it, and the whole.
Oh, say the line.
Yeah, say the line.
Yeah.
Going into the next matchup, like Miami's defense looked at as advertised. I think that's one of the biggest takeaways of it, right? Like people were kind of like falling off of that once they lost a couple games, but now you look at how well they got after the quarterback. They had 7 sacks. Go look at Indiana and what they did to Ohio State in the Big Ten title. I think he
had 5.
Yeah, sacked 5 times.
Insane. Yeah.
I mean, you could say the star power is much better on this Miami team along the front, like name-wise and recognition-wise. And so maybe there's a recipe for, 4 or 5 sacks again. And then you're Ohio State, you can't move the football because you're not running it well because they're stout against the run. You can get them over the top of the big play, which I think is where we talk about the issues. But there's nothing here saying that, like, Miami's not going to get 4 or 5 sacks and 1 turnover and really slow this offense down. Now, on the flip side, can they do it to Ohio State? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you saw A&M, they did just as well, or not as well, but pretty damn close to the defensive
let's play a
putout.
game on this. How many points, if you're Ohio State, you just say you're Ryan Day, and I said, how many points would you feel comfortable scoring?
17, I think, wins in this game. With what I saw from Miami's offense,
I think we're underlying the wind in that game, though. Like how big of a factor the wind was.
Jacob, if you sacked 5 times, you could run the ball either. It's not one thing.
I'm saying like
Mother Nature guy. I don't know if it played a zero.
I mean, if you put points on the board, like that affects how you play at football.
And what they missed 3 field goals. I mean, both teams probably missed a combined. What was it?
No, A&M only missed the 1. I think.
Miami missed 3.
One.
Yeah, Miami missed 3, so that's 12 points. I mean, I'm just saying, like, to your question, if I'm Ryan Day, I'd at least like to score 20 points, 24 points.
I mean, that's a fair question. I just wanted to say what you guys want. I don't think 17 is like a brutal answer. That's just
I think 17-13 is where I almost see this game. I mean, that Matt Patricia defense is, and we forget what they've done.
They're good
pretty much all year long. I mean, they're stupid good.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's leave the college football playoff there. We will preview those games on the morning of New Year's Eve. Make sure you tune in to the live show. Set it on your schedule. We'll have it on the calendar ready for you live on youtube.com/playtheFightPod. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and like button so you can come back to it. All right, let's go into bowl games for this coming week. This is kind of a mixed list. There's a ton of games. So at the end, we will cover more than what we previewed tonight within the categories. Most fun, underrated bowl games, things like that. So stay tuned for that if we don't mention your bowl game off the rip. Let's start on Friday, the 26th. Let's talk New Mexico and Minnesota in the Rate Bowl. That's Friday, correct, gentlemen? It's the first one on the list. 3:30 kickoff Central Time. 9-3 New Mexico under Jason Eck, and Minnesota ends at 7-5. They were a 6-win football team pretty early in the year, had a few brutal losses towards the end of the season. But hey, they're here. They're in the Rate Bowl. They're indoors in Chase Field. This should be a hell of a matchup. Fellas, wasn't this the guaranteed Rate Bowl? Did we lose the guarantee at the company? I don't know what the difference was.
I don't know what they changed on that. I just have Rate Bowl down.
Yeah, I think they lost the guarantee at this company. So shout out to the Rate Bowl. But let's break this game down from the top, and then we'll pick it. Why don't you go for it, Jake?
Yeah, the unstoppable force plays in another bowl game. PJ Fleck is, I think, 6-0 in bowl games at Minnesota. We like to give PJ Fleck a lot of crap, but what he always does is he has his guys ready to play, and he makes this seem like the most important game of the year, which as a college football fan in general, I just can appreciate. I'm glad somebody takes these bowl games more seriously than others. And it's from everything that I heard, guys, like this was New Mexico is taking Iowa State's spot. Like Iowa State was supposed to be in this bowl game against Minnesota. And I think you're getting an opponent now in New Mexico who I think is, I'm gonna be honest, I think it's a better option than Iowa State would have been at this point with the coaching change and the roster turnover and all that stuff. You're getting a New Mexico football team that is 9-3 and hasn't played in a bowl game in 2016. Thank you. Okay. You're a better podcaster than I was. Cause I was like, it's at least been 5 or 6 years. So both teams are going to be ready for this one. Yeah. Jason Eck gets his extension. He's going to have the boys ready. He's going to want to go on top and get 10 wins in New Mexico, man, would be absolutely just awesome. And it's one other
time in program history.
Yeah. It's one of those things for the sport that won't get enough coverage, but if it happens, it just will give its flowers because it could be really awesome. As far as the football is concerned, New Mexico loves to run the football, and they share the carries between Bankston and McKinney, and also quarterback Jack Lane, the transfer from Idaho. He's got 77 carries this year. Montana State transfer Scott Trey Humphrey, I thought was going to be the main back this year, and he really hasn't been. I mean, he'll get a couple of carries here and there, but that just really goes to show how deep the backfield is for New Mexico. And on the flip side, the matchup is really awesome because Minnesota is really good at defending the run. They're top, I think they're 32nd in rush defense.
Yep.
So that's the matchup you really got to pay attention to. It's funny because this is a very uncharacteristic Minnesota team. Their rushing offense is one of the worst in college football. It's like 127th. Like, is Darius Taylor, again, bad podcasting. Darius Taylor doesn't play for Minnesota anymore, correct?
No, he does. He's going to play. He has to play because Fame Ijiboy is one of the two main opt-outs. Okay. It's Malachi Coleman, Fame Ijiboy. Those are the two opt-outs.
Okay. The Darius Taylor thing sounds like they're going to keep it close to the vest, so you're not going to know until a day or two above.
He's been banged up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad you called out the Ojibwe thing because I was about to, reach out to Daniel House, our, Minnesota cohort or friend over there. And
Source.
Friend of the show.
yeah, and it kind of
Yep.
sorts it up. But I think
Shout out
PJ's
that guy.
like holding everything close because there's not a lot out there about many Minnesota opt-outs. And Darius Taylor's a really good back. Like Jake just gave you all the stats about talking about their run game. The reason it's so poor is because they haven't been as good blocking up front. They're lacking along the offensive line, unlike they have in the past. And then he is made up for it. Like it would be worse if Darius Taylor wasn't in the backfield. I think that's something to highlight here. And then Ojibwe's been a really good piece as a second guy, to round out that lineup. For me on this one, like, what does it look like if Drake Lindsay has to do it all? He's gotten better throughout the year. I'd say that Northwestern game, he really kind of stepped up and was really good. And so if the run game is not working, because this Lobos team plays defense, man. Like this is a team that averages only giving up 3.4 yards a rush. That's top 20 in the country, not just in G5.
How about Coach X Kid, Conference Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Jackson at linebacker, 126 tackles this year.
Good.
There's another he's the first to do so since who? Can you name him? At New Mexico, he's the first.
Urlacher.
Yeah.
Urlacher?
Yep. Okay, good point.
But the other thing is, like, how well New Mexico did after the quarterback. One of the biggest or best players along the defensive line has opted out. I can't think of his name. I missed the writing down
kid?
part of it. But it's just to me like this is a winnable game for New Mexico. I don't think this is just another average Big Ten team goes plays Mountain West team. I think this is a New Mexico team that's going to be pretty up and ready for it. And so I'm really excited to see. I think this is one of the better matchups of the next week, if not the whole bowl season, right? If you just put team by team and say, go out there and play good football, add that in there.
You mentioned X group getting after the quarterback. Just to put that in more perspective for the listeners, 9% of opponent dropbacks this year has resulted in New Mexico sack. They get the hell after him. And it's not just the defensive line. They've been good up front, but they'll blitz from several different looks, mix in looks. And they're going to have Drake Lindsay on his heels. I mean, it's a freshman quarterback at Minnesota who's been good for them all year long, but 33 sacks for this New Mexico defense. I think they get to the quarterback a few times, and they've got a hell of a chance to win this game. I think if you're looking at the want-to-win factor, it's hard because you were going to give it to the G5 team looking for 10 wins, but it's also PJ Fleck. So I think it's there for both teams. Like, PJ is going to have his group ready to go, but I think the college football fan and everybody should be wanting the Lobos to go out and take care of business and give PJ his first loss. What do you think, Reese?
Yeah, you guys keep mentioning like New Mexico's defense too, but Minnesota is fourth in the nation with 35 sacks on the year too, and like they got the first team Anthony Smith, yeah, with 10.5 sacks. Like this Minnesota defense too, like the offense they can't rush like they used to, but the offense or the defense like they can get up to the quarterback too. Like New Mexico, very balanced offensive attack. They're averaging about 400 yards per game, and that's about 200 each in the air and on the ground. So New Mexico does a lot of pre-snap stuff. So they're going to try to confuse Minnesota, but you got to hope you get the ground game going so you can get some play action going too, because eventually you're going to get pressure on that quarterback. And if Lindsay's not able to go to his first or second reads and he's got to go somewhere else, they're going to get after the quarterback. So
yeah, they are going to get after the quarterback. That's one thing is for sure. I think this game is, I shouldn't say that because we're going to go to more categories. Sorry, Jake, for blowing that for you. But let's go to picks in this game. New Mexico and Minnesota, 2.5 in favor of the Golden Gophers. That's what we will pick it on the ATS.
That is a great line.
Golden Gophers, Andersley.
Yeah, the Golden Gophers, 2.5-point favorites. We will pick that on the ATS board. You can follow along with that on our X at Play the Fight Pod. Make sure you hit the follow button there after you hit the like and subscribe button on this video. Let's pick this one, gentlemen. Golden Gophers or Lobos in the Rate Bowl. What do you got, Jake?
I'd love for Jason Eck to get this win and to get to 10 wins, but I'm not picking against PJ Fleck against a G5 team in a bowl game. I'm just not. So 6-0, spreads that close. I think Minnesota finds a way to make it ugly and win this game. And yes, this game can be fun being 17-14. Just 100%. Because it's not Miami and Texas A&M.
But Big Ten logos on it, it's ugly.
If it's your first time tuning into the show this year, I made a 6.5-hour trip to Minneapolis this year to watch my Nebraska Cornhuskers play this Minnesota team. And if you think I'm taking them in any way, shape, or form, I can cheer for them, you are sadly mistaken. I think my hatred for the program grew because my team played like shit. That's just how it works in my mind. So give me the Lobos plus the 2.5 in this game. JP?
Emotions.
Yeah, I'm
Everything.
going to take Minnesota as well. I think there's an aspect here where I think Minnesota is going to be able to find a little bit of a rhythm, even if they're dealing with some opt-outs at the running back position. And then over the top a little bit, like let's watch Drake Lindsay have a little fun, and I think PJ Fleck will let loose a little bit more here.
Yeah, LeMake Brockington's a guy we should have mentioned for that Minnesota offense and how good he's been for that offense. And Drake Lindsay's by far their biggest target. What do you got, Reese, on the pick?
JP, can you please wear a button up and do a nice big tie so you can have a JP Fleck look-alike for this game? Because I'm gonna run
Yes, like a game day post.
JP Fleck.
All right,
I gotta make a bet with our Daniel House guy and say like you dress up as Kirk Ferentz, I'll dress up as PJ Fleck.
Yeah, but you got to shave too. You got to shave completely bare to really dive into it. Like you got to own it.
No, doesn't PJ's got a little scruff, doesn't he? It's not like a beard, but he doesn't have scruff.
Yeah, he's got more of like an alcoholic scruff. So I mean, you got to let it go down, wait a couple of days, and then take the photo. I don't think you can trim it down to what PJ's got going on. I mean, he's got his whole thing. 3 on the Golden Gophers, 1 on New Mexico for the first bowl game of the night. Let's move it down the line. Before we do so, we want to remind you of our great partner over at No Rivals, shopnorivals.com. Thanks, JP. ShopNoRivals.com. Use the code PTFS at checkout for free shipping on your order. The best hats in collegiate sports, the best designs. Reese is rocking the Tulane retro look. I got Texas Tech game day collection on. Little red piece on the back. Shout out ShopNoRivals.com. Use the code PTFS at checkout for free shipping on your orders. ShopNoRivals.com today.
I just scared the shit out of someone in their car.
Say somebody with headphones on just absolutely threw their phone across the room.
Turn it back up. Hopefully,
I didn't think
the code PTFS. Unbelievable. I mean, we're in the postseason and we're playing like it's preseason. But let's move it down the line. Let's go to the Pop-Tarts Bowl. One of the best bowl games of the season. Probably, I'll go out on a limb here and say this is the most fun, like bowl game that does the most around and really pitches the brand well for the sponsorship. And look what they've done. You got both teams putting the sprinkles on the helmet. So, I had to add it into the Play the Fight song branding. Let's talk Georgia Tech, BYU. Gentlemen, this game is an absolute beauty. JP, break it down for us.
Yeah, I think where you have to start things is Georgia Tech ready to stop the run? I think there's a lot of pieces defensively people want to talk about with offensive coordinator leaving, other pieces, Philo leaving and hitting the portal as well. But I want to talk defensively. This is a Tech team that's really had its struggles through the majority of the year, just about with anybody they've played. And the Georgia game feels like the outlier. And I always think that one in how well they played there. But like this is a BYU team that I think in some ways is similar to what Georgia wants to do, right? They still really want to establish the run. They're not incredible over the top with the pass, but they're capable enough. So are you ready to stop the run? They go 4.6 yards a carry, which is 97th, damn near outside the top 100 within the FBS. That's something to really highlight there. What Yellow Jacket team are you going to get? You're going to get the one who played really well against Clemson. Remember when that was a big win during the year, the one that showed up and played against Georgia? Or are you going to get one kind of threw up duds in their couple losses? I just worry about what the motivation is and how everybody's feeling in that locker room for Georgia Tech. You keep Brent Key, which I think is a big piece of this. Philo leaves, offensive coordinator leaves, other offensive pieces are leaving, and not just the players, the staff itself. Haynes King, I think, is going to play. From everything I've heard, everything I've seen, he hasn't chosen to opt out. I wouldn't be surprised if he does, but I'm really hoping he plays in this one. And then on the flip side, BYU-wise, like, I don't think there's anybody.
They're playing.
To this point, as of the 23rd, they're playing. So I think they're going to get more of a, like, you're just in our way to prove a point kind of feel for this BYU team. And so watch out for them. They're going to run the ball really well. And I think Kingston on the outside and what Bachmeier does with his legs is LJ might be the one that I may not play running back wise, just how running backs have done through their bowl games and through history, I guess, is a guess. But if not, man, I think this team's just going to play low and slow and just really lean on Georgia Tech until it ends. Flip side, Georgia Tech can draw drives a long time. Right? We're talking 10, 15 play drives, take 2 or 3 yards of pop, hit 1 for 6. There's your first down. That's what BYU makes teams do, and Georgia Tech does that really well offensively. So with Haynes King, this is a guy that, you never want to doubt, and you never want to doubt Brent Key against ranked teams, either do you, Parks?
Absolutely not. You can never take out Brent Key and the ranked team assassin. But in this situation, and this is like kind of a 2020 Coastal situation for me where I pick for him all year and every time, and then I pick against him and they kill me. When I look at this game, I automatically think of what Bachmeier's done and what he's done to extend plays with his legs, just the playmaking ability overall, because he really has stepped up and gotten better at throwing the football consistently throughout the year. And this Georgia Tech defense has some Swiss cheese size holes in them, gentlemen. That's to put it kindly, from the games that they've been really bad. And this BYU team, this is a team that is in that playoff conversation and honestly probably has a bone to pick as much as Notre Dame to have been in that playoff conversation with their schedule and what they've done. I think it comes down to whether or not BYU can stop the run on defense. If Haynes King is in there, Georgia Tech wants to run the ball. They're going to run the ball. Haynes King is going to extend plays in a very similar fashion to Bachmeier. And you got to look at guys like Glasker, Kelly on the linebacking side and core for BYU. They've been good all year long. They've got to really step up and put pressure on Haynes King if he plays, if not the backup. And I think they can do so. I think this BYU team, JP, you nailed it. I think they're playing with a chip on their shoulder to prove to the country why they should have been in that. And this is a really good spot and probably one of the more watched bowl games for them to do so. So I kind of like and lean BYU on this one. What do you think, Reese?
Yeah, you mentioned it, but it's the BYU. Like, who have they lost to this year? Texas Tech twice, and Texas Tech has dismantled pretty much everybody they played thus far, except for that Arizona State game on the road. So, like, that's the part where BYU, I think, has a little more edge to them here because you just played the number 4 seed who is going to be damn good and has a chance of winning at the end of the year. So I think it's kind of where BYU has a little bit of that experience because, like, Georgia Tech, they have the impressive ones where they show up, but then also, like, remember when they went on the road to Boston College and
they get mad,
like a 2-point win?
Yeah.
And so, like, I mean, you just have those moments where, yeah, you talk about Brent Key. If it's a ranked team, they come up. If they're not, they kind of go down. But, yeah, you talk about the motivation factor for this one, too. I think BYU – I think along the lines of scrimmage, Georgia Tech, they run the ball well. They average about 200 yards a game on the ground. Like, so that's impressive. But BYU also, they know how to fill their gaps. They're very sound. And then defensively, they only give up third downs on 33% on third downs this year. That's pretty damn impressive. So, like, Georgia Tech, if you're finding yourself in third and long, you're not going to be converting a lot of them because I'm going to trust that defense with what they have over there. They're just sound, technical. They don't get penalized a lot. They're not going to get beat over the top. So I just lean BYU in the spot because I just think they're a little bit better team. And the Georgia Tech, I just not sure. It's motivation. Coach going to get you guys fired up. I'm just like, after this, I'm not sure what there is for these guys. So
I'm glad you said the coaching point, Reese, because another part I should have added is like this Georgia Tech coaching staff's getting a little bit fleeced out there. Like a lot of their coordinators.
Yeah, losing your OC is huge.
Yeah, I mean, losing your offensive line coach. Well, he's at Nebraska now. So as much as the coaching factor can go into it, maybe it's like a fired coach's feel. It could go either way, but they've lost quite a bit on the coaching side outside of Brent Key. What do you think on the game, Jake?
Yeah, if you're Georgia Tech and you watch the Texas Tech film, this BYU team is good. It puts a lot of pressure on you, but they're susceptible to get if you don't turn the ball over and you playing clean football. And I think I highlighted it when we did our Big 12 preview or Big 12 championship previews that BYU's been able to force turnovers on any Big 12 team but Texas Tech. So if you're Georgia Tech, you got to find a way to play clean football. It's a pretty tough task. It's aggressive.
And they turn
defense.
they turn it over.
Yeah, they do. So I really don't like that matchup for Georgia Tech. And I would say for BYU too, offensively, they've shown the ability to score against defenses pretty comparable to Georgia Tech. Like I would throw Iowa State, TCU, and Arizona all in the same pot with Georgia Tech. I think those are very comparable defenses as far as like athletes and skill level. And BYU and Bachmeier has been pretty good. Like the Iowa State game again was like Iowa State dared Bachmeier to go out there and throw the football because LJ Martin got hurt in the first or second quarter and Bachmeier ended up with 350 yards. So if they're not running the football and I'm BYU and I'm a backer on BYU, I'm not that scared. I think Bachmeier can use his legs and through the air. He's still got Chase Roberts and those receivers to rely on, and they can beat Georgia Tech that way, just like Pitt did when they just absolutely they ran the football really well on Georgia Tech that night, but they also threw it for a ton, and that really silenced that Bobby Dodd crowd that night in Atlanta. So we're going to get into picks right away, like it's BYU 100% for me. And that's not me being a Big 12 homer. I think the matchup is terrible for Georgia Tech, especially with a 3.5, 4.5 point spread, wherever this ends up at. I'm fine with it. Give me the Cougs.
4.5, I think, is what.
Yep, 4.5 right now in favor of the Cougs. Let's pick this one for the other two and myself. This is the first time these teams have matched up since 2013, where BYU took down Georgia Tech 38-20. BYU's 3-1 all time against the Yellow Jackets. Where do you see this matchup in the Pop-Tarts Bowl, JP?
Yeah, same thing. I like BYU. Jake made a great point. The matchup is just what stinks. I think the matchup does stink. I don't think these two teams line up very well if you're looking at it from the Tech side. So I'll take BYU, and I think they will win this by 2 scores.
Reese?
Yeah, I'm going there right too. I just think BYU, they played Texas Tech twice. It's a damn good team. You just have a chance to do it. So let's go Cougs.
Yeah, no, I can't.
Don't back up now, Parks. Don't back up now. Don't back up now.
Again, the Georgia one.
The Georgia game.
Was that Georgia you didn't take them?
Yep.
I'm going BYU. I'm doing. I got to take BYU. I think they win the game 31-23. I think there's too much offensively, and what I've seen from Georgia Tech, the depletion of their coaching, and if Haynes King plays or not is massive, obviously. But I think BYU gets after him. I think there's way too much to play for.
I think Georgia was super vanilla. Like, I know Georgia Tech fans probably get pissed and like, it was a rivalry game, you moron.
Man.
I think Georgia was more vanilla in that game more than anything.
Just go watch the film. You could be vanilla, chocolate, twist, whatever you wanted to be. They couldn't move.
Speaking of that,
sprinkles on it.
Sweep across the board, BYU for everybody. However, I have a fun question. I like to look up some of these bowl game websites. Not a lot of people look at them because if they're not going to them, they just look at the main websites, ESPN covers, whatever the hell you use.
Mm-hmm.
The menu at this Pop-Tarts Bowl, you'd be like, oh, they probably got some fun stuff on the menu. So I looked it up. Like, tell me which one of these 3 items. Yes, like for fans at the stadium or tailgate pregame, they have these options: strawberry Pop-Tart milkshake, cookies and cream Pop-Tart milkshake, and then a Pop-Tart sandwich. And there was no description for the Pop-Tart sandwich. So I
you buy it and you just give it. You know, those BYU fans are going to absolutely. They're going to go crazy for all that.
I like that, JP.
They have them at like Walmart and places. It's 2 Pop-Tarts with ice cream in the middle.
I like that.
I hope it's not. I hope it's like a turkey on white, but it's Pop-Tarts. I'm really hoping it's a sicko's version of this sandwich. But what would you go? Strawberry Pop-Tart or cookies and cream Pop-Tart milkshake?
Cookies and cream.
Strawberry.
Cookies and cream for me.
Does the ice cream sandwich have 2 different flavored Pop-Tarts, one on the top and one on the bottom?
I don't know.
I was going to say. Put a blueberry on top and a strawberry down below and turkey in the middle.
I'm a diehard s'mores Pop-Tart guy. I think it's the best flavor.
Cookie dough. Chocolate chip cookie dough. Chocolate chip cookie dough
is good. That's a very
JP,
good
what do we never go cheap
on? You never go cheap on. Women, cars,
quarterback,
toilet paper, Pop-Tarts, quarterbacks.
And Western Kentucky money line.
Yes. Western Kentucky playing well right now. But that's good. All right. Let's leave that there. That's the Pop-Tarts Bowl. It's going to be a hell of a game. Always a fun matchup to watch. Literally watch the mascot die, and they will not refer to him as being alive anymore at the end of the game. So tune into that one in Orlando. It's going to be There's what?
No idea.
The Pop-Tart going in the toaster this year. Do you know what flavor it is?
I think that's the surprise. I think that's the surprise, isn't it?
You got to tune in to find out. Saturday, December 27th.
Do they actually have a flavor? I think that's the surprise.
Yes. Cinnamon was year 1.
I know.
Strawberry or blueberry was year 2.
I know that it's a fact.
It was
like there was a charity that reached out that like wanted their mascot at an event for it, and they were like, "No, he died. Like he went in a toaster. They would not bring him back, even for a charity event." I know that is a real story.
I love it.
They're very true about it. So shout out to the Pop-Tarts brand. It's an awesome bowl game. Make sure you tune into that one. Full sweep for the BYU Cougars in that one from Play the Fight song. Let's go to the next one. Let's stay in the G5 realm because we had a lot of games on this list. JP threw in a G5er. I love it. Let's talk Miami of Ohio. Let's talk Fresno in the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl. This used to be the Barstool Sports Bowl. Now it's Snoop Dogg. They're just throwing sponsors at the wall and hoping they stick. Miami of Ohio, the MAC runner-up since the championship game. And then Fresno State, a team that we're always high on in the preseason, always a great G5 gritty program. 7-6 for Miami of Ohio, 8-4 for Fresno State. Let's break this one down from the top. Reese, why don't you go first?
Yeah, Miami Ohio, I mean, defensively, they don't give up a whole lot of big plays. They've only given up, I think, a handful, like a 7% clip on that. Defensively, also, they force turnover extremely well, too. So, offensively for Fresno State, about 170 yards a game on the ground. Pretty solid group of running backs. It's just what are they going to be able to do offensively to keep themselves going on the field? Because Miami, Ohio, not the most, overwhelming offense you're going to see, at least, I think, especially for this game for Fresno State. But then it's also Fresno State's defense is pretty solid too. Like they're ninth in passing yards this season. They get after the quarterback. They're able to kind of cause havoc, so on and so forth as it goes along there. And then about 34% are giving up for third downs this year as well too. So if you're Miami of Ohio, like you got to be getting positive yards on first and second downs. Give yourself in third and shorts or third and mediums to where like can you run it? It's not a predictable third down play. A third down passing play because Fresno State, like I just mentioned, they're not going to give up balls or plays over the top, and they're also going to be able to get after the quarterback as well too. So,
Jake,
yeah, defending Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl champions, the Miami of Ohio Redhawks. So they have a ton to play for in this one. I think when you actually look at this game, the defense is the backbone of both of these teams. They're both led by really good defenses. Matt Entz has done a nice job at Fresno this year. Chuck Martin continues to just get his teams up and rolling after 0-3 non-conference start. Once again, they get back to the MAC title. They just never quit. But in Miami of Ohio, I think the challenge for them is they've had a ton of changes at quarterback this year. Obviously, everybody knows about DeQuan Finn leaving the program. Then they went to, I think it's Gutowski for them.
Gutowski.
And then they went to Henry Hessen. Both played in the MAC title game. I expect both to play in this one, just like who's giving me a better showing. Go out there and win the football game. I love that matchup or that storyline for Fresno State because they got a couple of good cornerbacks for their team and Simeon Harris and Hamilton for them. Fresno has forced 19 interceptions this year, fellas. This is a good defense. And when you have a lot of uncertainty with two different quarterbacks, I think they're going to throw a lot of things at you on defense if you're Fresno State. And I like Fresno forcing a couple of turnovers on Miami of Ohio this year.
JP.
Yeah, I highlighted pretty much exactly what these guys got said. So I just wanted to kind of touch on what the EJ Warner situation is at Fresno State, right? Like really rough start, and they were not, really set on playing the ball that much. Yeah, and then got to a point where they brought in Conklin, who was a Sac State transfer that I thought they should have played most of the year. He started a few games. EJ Warner plays in the finale. He's gotten much better as the season's gone on. But one thing here, like both teams want to run the football really well. They want to control the line of scrimmage. There are some key pieces in the portal for the Redhawks. I think Fresno State's in a better situation because you look at their running back room and it's intact still. Donaldson's there. Ramirez is there. I believe Rayshawn Luke's hurt. I don't want to confirm that or anything. This is a team that I think had a much better year in the Mountain West than what was expected. I previewed them in the preseason, said bowl eligibility is a possibility. They looked better than I thought a lot of people did. And that's just the tip of the cap to Matt N and what they've done over there. So I think looking at what Miami, Ohio is and what Fresno State is, they're mirror images of each other. Who do you believe in more, right? What quarterback are you going to put your faith in a little bit more? Maybe one that's got a little more of a turnover history and a couple that aren't as experienced. And I think this defense for Fresno State's kind of been the ringer. They've seen everybody, seen some high-flying offenses, seen some run the ball a little bit better. And so I kind of think that they're in a really good spot to go to a bowl game here and get to 9 wins in year 1.
Yeah, Miami of Ohio to me sticks out in this game because if you look back in Barstool Sports Arizona Bowl, Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl, the MAC always plays well in this game and finds ways to win. And how similar these two teams are on paper, I almost see it similar to an Ohio-Wyoming matchup from 3 years ago where Ohio wins in overtime. I can see that same exact situations happening to where Fresno State, Miami, they're just so good defensively and match up well against what they want to do on the offensive side, both of them, that this can be that slow-moving pace game where it's going to come down to one big play towards the end. And I got to give the edge. I just think it being year 1, Miami of Ohio is so established, and they made their way back as a 6-6 team into the MAC title game. Experience matters, and that we saw how good that Western Michigan team was in bowl season. They've played competition like that. I think EJ Warner turns the ball over a couple times if he plays. This team forces turnovers. They've only got 13 total touchdowns through the air this year and 13 picks. So that split does not favor a team that's played good teams, and I think Miami of Ohio has played better teams overall. So I give the edge to the Redhawks in my mind, but maybe I can get a switch when we go into picks. Somebody will convince me otherwise. What do you think on this game, Reese? I believe the line is JP line that we're going to use.
Is it 4.5 again?
I don't have it. It's probably around 4.
I can pull it up here.
Well, either way, whatever it is, I
5.5
love whatever.
in favor of
5.5.
Fresno State. 5.5 in favor of the Bulldogs. What do you think, Race? You like the Bulldogs outright?
I'll take Fresno State in this spot. I'm going to
Okay.
lean that defense. I think a little more sound. I think Miami Ohio offense just isn't. But I think they're going to be. I don't think it's going to be an overwhelming force that Fresno State's not going to be ready for. So I'll take Fresno State.
JP.
Yeah, he stole it. I take Fresno State here late. I like this defense. I like this offense, and what you're going to get out of them a little bit more.
Jake.
Yeah, last year when they played Colorado State, I was just like, a Chuck Martin defense going against Braden Fowler, Nicolosi is going to be an absolute disaster for the Rams. I don't really care if it's EJ Warner or Conklin. I really don't care because I think Miami, Ohio has troubles on their side of the ball with the quarterback situation this year. I kind of highlighted.
So, yeah.
I like Fresno.
Nice.
I'm intrigued because I'll take the other side. I'll do Miami, Ohio plus 5.5 in this situation. I think that it comes down to the MAC grit, the MAC bowl games. Give me Miami, Ohio. I know they've had their issues, and I heard DeQuan Finn was a bigger issue than even people outside of the program realize. So
I don't know.
Let's give them a culture bounce back win here in the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl. So that is that one. Let's leave it there. That's going to be a hell of a matchup. You can tune into that one Saturday, the 27th. Let's keep it on that day. Let's talk Virginia and Missouri. This matchup is very intriguing and very interesting. The TaxSlayer Gator Bowl. This one features a 10-3 Virginia Cavs team and an 8-4 SEC Mizzou team that kind of underperformed this year. Virginia loses to 7-4 Duke in the ACC title. Mizzou has their hiccups throughout the year, but really looked good early without quarterback Bo Pribula. Let's break this one down from the top. JP, do it for us.
Yeah, no Pribula, no starter from the original part of the year for them. It's going to be Zollers. Again, I think Matt Zollers will be the quarterback here for Missouri. You know, you look at this Virginia team, very high aspirations going into that conference title week. Drop one to Duke, you end up in a spot where you're playing a team in Missouri who's had some pretty big pieces, I think, hit the portal, and a lot. Coach has been in every single possible search you can imagine. I can't imagine it's been a normal. Pribula hitting the portal was a little surprising, and I think that's a Missouri team that's trying to find more so than last year, find an identity here in this offseason. And what are you going to get out of Virginia as far as what this team's going to show up and do? Are you looking to, hey, we're going to go beat a sticker in an SEC team? Are we going to play well there? Are we happy to be here? Or do you have teams or guys more so looking to get to the next step? For me, it is a little bit of similar styles. I think Missouri is a little more consistent in how they do things, right? They run the ball really well with Hardy. They control the line of scrimmages. Virginia wants to do those things. They don't always do it. They get by the skin of their teeth half the time. They make plays. It's a little bit of all or nothing offensively, right? Like there's a lot of turnover situations, but when they're hitting consistently. And so if it's Morris and you're dealing with this offense against the defense, like, do you think that they're going to have time to get the ball off? He's not going to make any mistakes. And on the flip side, Zollers is, I assume they're going to let him do whatever he wants, right? These are great reps for him to get against a team who's not been, great defensively, but pretty average, middle of the pack, get really good reps in, run the football, control line of scrimmage. I think the game plan's simple for Missouri. I don't think that that's necessarily reflected on the other side with Virginia. He's muted.
Both muted.
Jake,
I assume you were throwing it to me. Sorry, Parks, you were muted.
Come on, man. I saw you taking a drink. I had to get you.
Yeah, you're good. It's funny because we do all these opt-outs and like sometimes it's so hard to hit because like we did the Jack State game and Cam Cook was supposed to play and then he goes through warm-ups and then he doesn't play. And then there's like Washington State had 9 guys in the portal the other night and most of them ended up playing. So we really don't know. I'm glad JP highlighted the Pribula situation because he's out. One thing we know for certain is that Ahmad Hardy is going to be in a Missouri Tiger uniform next year. And so he's going to be playing in this game. And that is probably the biggest factor out of anybody who's going to be playing on both sides of the football this year because he has an ability to just do unworldly things at the running back spot at certain times, right? Like he struggled in the meat of the SEC schedule, which a young guy coming over from ULM, you kind of expected that a little bit. I mean, he had under 100 yards against Auburn, Alabama, Oklahoma. I mean, those are as good of defenses as you get. Yeah, I think UVA has a really good defense on ACC standards. Call me SEC Jake, but like they don't have the bodies on the defensive line that these teams do, that Auburn presents, that Oklahoma presents. So I think Ahmad Hardy's going to get his yards, and he's going to get his carries. Like if Zoller's playing, expect Ahmad Hardy to touch the ball 30 times. Like I'm going to imagine, and we'll see if they can slow it down. Like we'll see who suits up on the defensive line for Missouri, because I think a lot of those guys could go pro or opt out or whatever have you. I know JP highlighted a little bit. They just need to create pressure and challenge Chandler Morris, because he's a guy who's a gunslinger, but also when pressure's thrown in front of his face, he's not the most careful with the football. So UVA, that's really your key point is protecting the football. I know that's super chalk stuff as far as, inside football goes, but that's what you got to do if you're UVA, because I don't know how good the defense is going to be against this Missouri team. And this Missouri offensive line too is really good. I like what they present. What is a big factor in this game? And I think it matters a ton. Where is this at? The Gator, is it the Gator Bowl? Is this in Florida? Anybody know what town in Florida it is? I'm
Tampa,
actually,
I believe, right?
Okay.
Gainesville?
I think you might be right. Tampa presents a little bit of a good nightlife scene. Could get a little crazy.
Jacksonville.
Okay. Now I'm all on the Tigers, because I don't know.
Now he's changing his idea completely.
I don't know what Jacksonville presents as the nightlife. The motivation of
vibes thing.
It's a big thing in this game. This is Virginia's first bowl game since 2019. I know the ACC title didn't go their way. This was a team that was, you win that football game and you're in the college football playoff. I think it still means the absolute world to Virginia going up against a really worthy SEC opponent. So we'll see if Missouri shows up on their end, because I think that's what this totally goes up to. Like, is Missouri going to show up? Do they want to play in this football game? By all accounts, I think Drink is really good in this spot as far as like playing, like SEC teams playing in bowl games. I expect Vanderbilt to come out and play a really fun game against Iowa. Missouri, I kind of hold them to the same standard too. I do think that they are going to play this game like it matters most.
I like that. And where I see it is, I've been an avid enjoyer of the quarterback factory from North Texas, and that includes Virginia's very own Chandler Morris, who, as electric as the plays have been throughout the entire season and what he's brought to that Virginia offense with his running ability, there's been some bad sides. Like, I've texted in the group chat during games multiple times, like, I can smell this Chandler Morris interception coming, because I've seen it before watching him at North Texas. And that's really what's killed him. 9 picks on the year. I think he gets to double digits easily in this game. I think we've talked about Missouri's defense throughout the season, especially early in the season, and how elite they've been. I think they're going to get after him. He'll make his mistakes, and Virginia will find themselves in a very tough spot again, as what we saw in that ACC title game, where we saw a productive Duke offense who's been that way. And all Missouri needs to do, rely on the run, control the clock. They'll take care and advantage of this game. But there's a lot more that has to go right for Virginia in my mind than the talent out of Missouri in this matchup. Mm-hmm. So I kind of lean the Tigers here. What do you think, Reese?
Yeah, or Shaver mentioned too, but it's like the Virginia rush defense is only giving up 111 a game. That's 23rd in the country. But like, who in the ACC has a very good run game that they're facing? It's that stat is there, but read between the lines. Like, what does it really tell you? And also, you mentioned too, like the bodies that Missouri has, I think in the trenches on both sides of the ball, I think is going to determine this game. Virginia has some weapons. I mean, Chandler Morris, you talk about, like the offense can be explosive. You got Trey Harris, Cameron Ross, Jamari Taylor. Like, it's a good offense with some weapons. But the problem is, if you're not having lanes to run in, or you're not getting time to throw the football, because Missouri's defense, you've been playing an SEC schedule all year, I think they're going to have more of an issue too. Because I mean, on Missouri's side of the ball, you got Damon Wilson, who's got 9 sacks on the year. And like, if Virginia isn't successful in getting net positive plays, you're in 3rd and long all day. You're going to disguise some looks. Morris is going to throw those picks, whatever you talk about. And then, Missouri too, with Zoller kind of taking over, Hardy's going to get the ball. And if they're successful in running the football, that's less time Virginia gets the football. And if you have less time to hold it, that's less time to score. And if you can't be successful when you do have it, that just doesn't add up for a recipe to win a football game. So I think it's Tigers here.
Yeah, I'm looking back now that you said that, Reese. And honestly, I probably would say the best back Virginia's faced is probably Isaac Brown from Louisville.
I'd say the run game Florida State presents too. is pretty solid
Yeah,
at
with-
times.
Yeah, at that point,
Yeah.
they were a top 10
Yeah,
team. That's fair.
yeah.
When they matched up, Florida State was a top 10 football team. Throw it
They
back
didn't
that
run
far,
into
but
like I think Miami would have.
Well,
been
that game
able to
was
run
still like
the
their
ball.
game was still like wasn't that game 45-44 or whatever it was?
46-38, double
38.
overtime.
It was still a high flying game.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was definitely one you needed to watch. But let's pick this game, gents. Virginia, Mizzou, the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. The line that we are going off of is
I think it's a 4, yeah.
4 in favor,
In favor
of
of
the Missouri
Missouri.
Tigers.
Quattro.
What do we think on this, JP?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Missouri. I think even if they are like very boring in what their game plan is, I think Zoller's a good enough quarterback to make the plays when they need it. I think the run game is going to work just fine. You're going to get a hell of an effort out of Virginia, so don't expect this to just be a cakewalk. But give me Missouri to kind of inch away as the time goes.
Give me Missouri as well. Cue the Virginia fans in the comments telling us we've never played, don't watch.
Cue
whatever
them.
you want to
Thanks for
say.
listening. I appreciate
Yes,
you
thanks for
listening.
listening. Hit
Thanks
the
for your comment.
subscribe button. Give us
I'm
your
here for
prediction.
all
Drop us your
criticism.
predictions.
We're here for it. Yeah,
We
come.
love your
Hey,
comments.
you ain't got
what
no
you
haters.
feel.
You ain't popping. What do you think, Jake? Pick the game.
Yeah, I think I'm all favorites as far as our game breakdowns. I'm going to keep it going. I like Missouri.
Kid loves Vegas. Reese, where do you think?
Yeah.
Yep, I'm not going. As Czars, it's not his first football game. You still got Hardy to hand the ball off to. I think it's Missouri all day.
All right, clean sweep on the SEC. We sound like ESPN.
How
Make
do
sure you hit
clean
the subscribe
sweeps do
button,
this
hit the
week?
like button. I don't know. They
Well, I
weren't.
guess
They
once-
weren't
we
all
got
straight. I
wrong.
kind of kicked out a couple of picks, but clean sweep on 2 games in a row. Let's go to the last and final game we will preview in full tonight, and that is the Orange Bowl, but not Orange Bowl. 2 orange teams, Tennessee, Illinois, matchup in the Music City Bowl.
Nice.
This year, sponsored by Liberty
Nice.
Mutual, the Liberty Bibbity Bowl. Tennessee
Liberty
comes in
Bibbity.
8-4, Illinois 8-4.
Emu.
Guys, fair to say a couple of teams that felt like a little bit of a letdown season, ending at 8-4, meeting up in this game. Where do you see it? What do you think about the matchup, Jake?
Disappointing, yes, but I would also say I highlighted this a little bit for Illinois. They played in so many close games last year. Like coming back to the mean was kind of expected, at least for me, as far as what I expected out of Illinois this year. I didn't think it was a team that was going to maybe be in a Big Ten title game or win the Big Ten. They've played well, like the games they're supposed to win. Like Brett Bielema still gets the team ready to go, and they've won every game. They're pretty much Vegas wise they were supposed to win, and they got that win against USC, which looks like a really good win at home in Champaign. What was that, in early October or September? Tennessee, on the other hand, I guess they've won every game they were supposed to win, but they've looked unimpressive against superior opponents. If I'm going that direction, I think some turnover issues really forced them to struggle against teams like Alabama, Oklahoma. They outgained Oklahoma at home, but it was too many turnovers and it wasn't enough. So I'm really interested to see if you can keep it clean if you're Joey Aguilar against a good Brett Bielema defense. I think that Bielema will have this team ready to go. This reminds me a ton of the South Carolina game and the bowl game a year ago. Both teams really, really struggle on third down. That's the biggest thing, is which team can stay on the field the longest. Tennessee's 85th in third down conversion. Illinois is 115th in third down. So if you get Luke Altmaier behind the sticks, he hasn't been great, but both teams are really efficient in throwing the football. They're throwing for over 62, 65%. I think Joey Aguilar is more of a product of that Tennessee offense and more of a scheme. And I think Luke Altmaier is just kind of a senior-led guy who's been really solid down the stretch. So I think this one's the biggest coin flip, to be honest, when I look at this game. And I think that this one should be really fun to watch.
JP.
Yeah, to me, this is a big test for Illinois secondary. When they've played high-flying offenses and pass teams, they've kind of gotten bit. They've dealt with some injuries this year. I think that's one reason that this has happened. But outside of that, even without like Xavier Scott on the back end, like they've gotten eaten alive by a couple teams. And this is what Tennessee does best, right? They got Georgia down early in that game against Vandy. They got them in the Alabama game. They had shots as well. So that's the matchup, right? Is it Aguilar vertically with a lot of these receivers hitting big plays? Or is it a slowed run game where Illinois has kind of been a little more stout? Flip side, Tennessee gets to the quarterback. One of the better teams in the country can get into the quarterback. You already talked about third down rate. Well, the sack rate's pretty darn high as well. And Illinois is notorious. Even if Luke Altmaier is getting away from sacks, they give up a ton. you have to be able to keep him upright, feel more comfortable, run the football at a decent clip, and then hit your passing game vertically, because you can get Tennessee vertically. There's been multiple teams. Georgia hasn't gotten many teams vertically. They got Tennessee. Vanderbilt got them vertically there as well. So for me, it's very simple. If it's Illinois is going to go win this game, healthy, and it's less than a sack or two on Altmaier and a good run game, if Tennessee is going to go win this, they've gotten to basically disrupt this Illinois offense and slow them down, and they had no explosives, and they were able to hit consistently deep over the top of this Illinois secondary.
I think we see a couple of offensive fireworks in this game. I think we see an explosive offense out of Tennessee, which they've been pretty much consistently throughout the year. But that Illinois team, the way Bielema and Jake kind of briefly mentioned this, can scheme a game and game plan against a specific team, not only on the defensive side of the ball, but on the offensive side of the ball, whether that's running the ball to slow the game down to keep Tennessee's offense off the field. I think that's the recipe for success if you're Illinois in this situation. But I think now is kind of and Illinois fans, you can let us know in the comments, but the Josh McCray loss from last year and how good he was for that Illinois offense and consistent. He transfers out to Georgia. He's got limited reps, feels like he would have been bigger and better in this Illinois offense. Hurts a little bit more because they haven't been able to run the ball like Illinois wants to consistently throughout the year. I mean, the leading rusher, not even over 600 yards. Is that a Brett Bielema offense, gents? Like, that's what's been out of character. I think that's what's led to a couple of their losses. This Tennessee team on the flip side, they've got fireworks. They've got weapons. They've done it consistently throughout the year against defenses that they shouldn't have put up points. They still put up points. 56 in the last game of the year. I think that we see some fireworks on the Tennessee side of things. I don't know if the game plan is going to be enough for the offensive weapons I see from Tennessee. What do you think, Reese?
Yeah, I see kind of offensively either team's like feast or famine mentality. Like we've seen Tennessee absolutely go after it and get everything they want, and we've seen them really struggle too. But then I think I saw the one opt out for Illinois, like their offensive tackle is that Davis kid. Like I think he's going to be gone. When they talk about, you look at this Tennessee, like this defense is top 3 in turnovers for the SEC, and they have 36 sacks from the year. Like if you're losing a big piece of your line, like that doesn't bode well, especially for a quarterback. And Luke Altmaier, I think that's an issue for him. Because, I mean, it's Tennessee. We've known like they've had 2 first-rounders drafted on their defensive line, their edges, like the last couple of years. Like it's a defense that knows how to scheme up plays and get pressure on the quarterback. And if you're getting pressure on him, Altmaier, we've seen him be good Luke. We've seen him be bad Luke, where he throws the wrong orange sometimes. So like I can see that happening here. We'll see if Tennessee, I think offensively, if they're able to get the ground game going and the Bielema is not able to get the football as much as they want to kind of keep the ball out of their hands, I think Tennessee is kind of in a good spot for this one. Like I said, offensively, I think both teams could, like I talked like for the A&M Miami game, both teams could have as much success in the world, or they could have a 10-3 ball game like it had. Like I could see that going either way, just kind of seeing what defenses can figure out schematically for this one.
Tennessee's going to get after that quarterback now. You look back at that Illinois game, people pretty much wrote them off after that Indiana ass beating. In that Indiana ass beating, 8 sacks for Indiana. Now, I'm not comparing the number 1 team in the country to Tennessee, but up front, Reese just told you 36 sacks. That's no joke. I mean, that's a good percentage of people's dropbacks against you. So Tennessee's going to get after Luke Altmaier and company and force him into a couple of mistakes. And what do we think on the line, fellas? 2.5 in favor of the Vols. Where do you see it? Do you like Tennessee? Do you like Illinois in the Music City Bowl, Jake?
I think my Twitter play is going to be under 61.5. That's where I'm leaning into this one.
Fireworks.
There you go.
I don't. as far as 28-24 or something, but nothing crazy. It does kind of matchup wise lean towards Tennessee, but vibes wise for me in this one, I like Illinois as the underdog, slight underdog, to kind of go out and just get this one.
TP.
Illinois outright.
Outright.
Ooh, okay.
On the field.
That's just a Brett Bielema pick there. He's got the Iowa tat.
Between the lines, I'm going to go the Bulls in this spot. I think defensively they're going to have a little more success in causing turnovers from Luke Altmaier and give Joey Aguilar the ball a couple extra times. Give me the Volunteers.
All right. Glad to be on the ATS crown champion side. Give me Tennessee. I like him in this matchup. I hate picking against Brett Bielema because I've seen him game plan against my team and pretty much drub them. But I think Tennessee's got too much explosiveness. I think they're going to draw up some fun style trick plays that we've seen in bowl games like this. And I think we see some fun, explosive plays from that Tennessee offense. So give me Tennessee with a couple of turnovers under Luke Altmaier. Although experience matters, but 2 on Tennessee, 2 on Illinois for the Music City Bowl. That is the last full bowl preview of tonight. We are going into the categories now. And then we will pick every bowl before we see you again, which is a lot. So stick around. Let's go to the first category, which is the underrated bowl game of the week. Gents, where do we see this? Where's the underrated game? Maybe we talked about it, maybe we didn't. What game should people be looking out for, Jake?
I think it might be the one we just highlighted for me. I had another pick, and I might leave that one up for you, Parks, because I think you know where I'm going with that.
Okay.
But I actually do like this Illinois-Tennessee game. It's kind of a little not standalone because it's before New Year's Eve, but this is Tuesday on the 30th. I like this matchup. I think most guys are going to play. I think these are two really good coaches, and it's underrated for me.
All right. I did pick a game that we did preview. I like New Mexico, Minnesota. I think this is an absolute beauty. I mean, well, Minnesota's great in the game, in bowl games, right?
We are doing your personal favorite, so maybe you'll go the direction of what I'm thinking about.
Yes, I think yes. Yeah, if you watched the show before, you can probably guess where I'm going with that. But New Mexico, Minnesota is an underrated game. I think you got to watch it. You got to see what Jason X done at New Mexico. I think they have a great opportunity to put that on display on national television. So I think that's a game you must watch. JP?
Muted
button. Got him. Right. He's playing preseason form tonight.
Yeah, he is.
Central Michigan, Northwestern.
Oh,
yeah, I like the
whole
the 10.5. I know is a bit much, but this is a Central team that has 2 power losses and 1 bad to Akron. The other ones are to the top of the back and good teams. These Northwest teams got better as the season's on. I think that the Chiefs got some form, right? This isn't a high-flying offense, but it's a pretty good defense. And I think if you can slow down Northwestern offensively, you have any chance to be in a game because they're not going to blow you out of the water with 40-some points. So, yeah, Chips, Cats, that sounds like a good time.
Reese.
Yeah, I'm vanilla. I had the same thing that Schaefer just took. I went to the Music City Bowl. I talk about the feast or famine just because we've seen that Tennessee offense are averaging 482 yards a game. Illinois is averaging almost 30 points a game. That's the most they've had in 15
slight
years.
home game for Tennessee though. Didn't take that into factor. I didn't think
Big
about
time
that
home
earlier.
game.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm there.
I'm not sure Illinois would have traveled well if it was in Chicago, but
really, I think Illinois doesn't have. Okay.
Yeah, no. Good fans, they don't travel. They're not. I'll say that they're not known for traveling. But all right, let's go to favorite game of the week. Personal favorite could be for whatever reason. List that reason. Tell us the game. Let's go backwards, Reese.
Well, I actually went with. I mean, we're going to preview that in the coming weeks, but I went with the Oregon and Texas Tech game, like Trevor talked about at the beginning. I lean there just because I think that's obviously Vegas sees where that line is at. You're talking about schematically what is Dan Lanning, because I also kind of like what Dan Lanning talked about, where he's like, I think he thinks that this 4 seed, like this second round, should also be a home game for whoever the higher seed is. You only get you get a rest week. I kind of like that interesting idea, but it's Texas Tech's number 1 rushing defense going up against this Oregon offense, which as balanced as it can be. This could be one too, where it's like, are we going to see a 30-30 game, or are we going to see a 17-13 game, methodical, keeping the ball in the other team's hands? Like kicking game is going to come into this big time as well too. Both teams are top 10 in their offenses for scoring. Texas Tech is second in the nation with 42.5, and Oregon is 9th with 38. So like this game can be high flying, or if these defenses show up where we have seen this Texas Tech defense, like they paid for it. Nat Rodriguez kid is a stud. And this BYU team we talked about before, like they've handled them in those games. So if Texas Tech shows up in this spot, like this is where one goes. Is because, like I said, where Vegas has this line, I think it's gonna be a fun football game.
JP.
FIU, UTSA. 2 of the better running backs within the G5 will go head to head here. One conference USA player of the year, and the other one's going to be a guy that went over 1,000 in Henry for UTSA. Problem is UTSA away from the dome. We don't really know what we're going to get out of them, right? That's kind of been the bugaboo there. And for me, there are some big opt-outs in some spots. Like we're thinner, so this game was higher up on the list before all those happened. But we could watch 2 really good run games in a high-flying bowl game, man. And so I got these 2 highlighted.
North Texas, San Diego State,
yeah.
a 9-win team, an 11-win team.
There he is.
And the New Mexico Bowl, that's must-see television. Rumor to be said that Drew Messmaker is going to play in this game.
I don't think it's a rumor. I think he is playing.
Yeah,
then he said he's going to play, and then he'll decide what he's doing afterwards.
Caleb Hawkins
Stillwater?
banged up in the American Championship game. Hopefully he gets back out there, one of the best true freshmen in the country in their backfield. But then we've talked about San Diego State's defense and what Sean Lewis's group has done well all year long. Granted, they proved us wrong in that spot before, headed to the island when they got their ass beat by Hawaii, but still a very good team in building what Sean Lewis wants to be. I think these are two really, really good G5 teams that are matching up, so it's must-see TV. I don't even think it may be a homer pick because I'm talking about North Texas, but fellas, that's a great game. I think you got to tune into that one. Jake.
New Mexico, Minnesota, for all the reasons you highlighted, Parks. I think it's going to be a good one.
It's going to be a damn good game.
Real
all
original
right,
all over the place.
JP Fleck.
JP, yeah, we're going to get JP Fleck
Yeah,
out.
my favorite bowl game is Clemson, Penn State. Just two power programs going at it.
Dude,
Who would have said? Who
just
would
a
have
lot
saw
of
that
pride,
game
just a lot of
coming where it
pride.
is now, dude?
That's a great
Lot of
point,
pride.
Reese. Just like what I talked about earlier. Imagine I told you in August, like, hey, Penn State and Clemson are going to have
They're
a
gonna be
dog
playing
fight in the Bad
in the
Boy Mowers
postseason.
Pinstripe Bowl. In the
That's
in the
gonna
Bad
be a
Boy
big
Mowers
matchup with the
Pinstripe Bowl.
postseason.
Yeah, what a sport this is. Speaking of that, before we go to the next category, did you guys see the play? Granted, the game's over. Western Kentucky wins. But did you guys see the play of the Western Kentucky defensive tackle stripping the Southern Miss quarterback who then picked it up and then completed a pass on third down?
I thought my
You
bet was going to
can't
lose.
get that in the
lose
NFL.
right
You
there.
cannot get that. So subscribe to the
hustle.
show. All right, let's go. Predictions of every bowl game before the next time we talk to you. That's now between the 31st of December. That's a lot. So let's go from the top, and we may have not broke this game down, but we're going to pick
Right
it just
through.
straight up winners, not against the spread. Who's going to win the football game?
Winners. Okay.
Let's go Central Michigan versus Northwestern. This is the game above Sports Bowl. This is Friday the 26th at noon. Central Michigan is a heavy underdog in this one. Who's winning the game, Jake?
If we're going just straight up pick them,
Straight up.
both teams they love to run the ball and they struggle in the red zone. So this one's going to be gross. Northwestern to win it. I think of a Twitter play, I might be doing Central Michigan, but at this point, I think Northwestern finds a way to win.
JP, are we getting Cam Komalafe in that game?
Great question.
Doesn't seem like he knows. Yeah, it doesn't seem like he knows.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if he had saw it, if he was looking.
I
up
don't know
for his
either. Don't worry.
underrated
You
game of the
don't need
week.
to answer that
But if we do, Northwestern all day long. If we don't, Northwestern all day long. Big Ten supremacy. JP.
Yeah, I'm on Northwestern.
Put me on him.
All right, Reese, clean sweep on the Wildcats. That's a good 6-6 team, gents. They were underrated 6-6 team. We'll see how they match up against a good MAC team. All right, New Mexico, Minnesota. We've already picked that one, so we will move it down the line. Let's go Florida International and UTSA in the Serve Pro First Responder Bowl. This one's also on the 26th at night. Heavy underdogs are FIU. Reese.
I'll go with UTSA here.
UTSA, Owen McCown for me. JP.
FIU.
Hell yeah, JP.
FIU.
On
2
the
and 2
field.
split there.
Panthers
UTSA,
on the
FIU. FIU's got a couple of
9.5
really good
point
wins
spread.
this year.
Yep.
Yeah, I see 6, but yes, 5.5, sure, in
What-
favor
okay,
of UTSA
sorry.
in that one. Let's go Pitt, East Carolina, the Go Bowling Military Bowl. 2 8-4 teams on the 27th at 10 a.m. Just an early morning special. Where do you see this game, JP? You're the Pitt guy.
Yeah, if I had Hauser, I'd feel a little different. I'll take Pitt here.
Yeah. You think?
Yeah, that's a big time difference. You lose your starting quarterback, we
Big
got to start
time.
readdressing things.
deal.
Put me on Pitt as well. Everybody on Pitt? We can go
Yeah.
quick.
Like I got like Pitt spread. Like Pitt,
Hauser's gone. That's tough.
10-point spread covering Pitt. That's a Twitter play right there. Easy.
H2P on PTFS. Next game, that beautiful Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl, Penn State, Clemson, 3 in favor of the Tigers. Will Cade Klubnik close it out with a win, Jake?
Yeah, I'm not one of those Iowa State fans that's like wearing blue and white now. That's not happening. I think this is actually a Dabo special. So I think Dabo is going to make this one feel like the Super Bowl, and I like to win the game.
Something about Ethan Grunkmeyer in this game feels like he's playing for his job almost. So
Yeah.
I like Penn
Yeah.
State. Give me Penn State as an underdog. I think they win the game. JP?
Penn State.
BYOG. Give me Dabo.
Hell yeah.
BYOG, bring your own guts. Dabo Sweeney, 2-2 split on the Bad Boy Morris Pinstripe Bowl. Next game up is the Wasabi Fenway Bowl. Army and UConn. Favorite is Army, pretty heavy as UConn has no head coach. Where's the game at, Jake?
You're asking for a pick, or where's this actually at?
No, I know it's at the Fenway. It's the Fenway Bowl. I know it's in Boston. Where's the game at in your mind?
Yeah. Sorry,
Just testing shape.
not listening. God, easily Army. No Skylar Bell, and I think no Fagano.
No Fagano.
I think?
If I
Okay.
can't get you to listen, how the hell can I get people to listen? Lock in.
No, I'm sorry. You're right. I appreciate
I'm
the
sorry,
accountability around here. I think Jeff Munkin's boys come out and just absolutely slap this team around.
Yeah, this is a get back after the Army-Navy loss. Give me Army as well. Round the table, all Army. All right, there it is.
Army.
Put it down the line.
UConn.
Next game up would be the Pop-Tarts Bowl. We already picked that one. We already picked the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl, which is right after that. North Texas, San Diego State, the game I highlighted. Who wins the game, Jake?
No quarterback for San Diego State. And I think there's other key pieces that I'm just missing. Mestamaker's playing, as far as I know. This is a 3-point spread. Like, I think North Texas wins this easy. I know Sean Lewis's defense is going to be great. That's why it's going to be a lot of fun, like that defense versus North Texas's offense. But
I know a certain young quarterback that diced that defense up pretty good.
I like North Texas.
The college football playoff gave Tulane a gifted touchdown in the American Championship that really separated that game on that fumble. Drew Messmaker on the tackle there, by the way. So give me the damn Mean Green outright and to cover in that one, JP.
North Texas.
North Tejas.
All right, another clean sweep. All right, we're picking favorites, but we're picking them outright. Virginia, Missouri, we already picked. Taxslayer Gator Bowl. Next one, the Kinder's Texas Bowl. This is a good one, gentlemen. Houston, LSU, horrible offense, and Houston. Let's pick it, Jake.
Last year when the LSU played in this one, like you got Nussmeier healthy, good offense going against a terrible Baylor defense. It's kind of like that Snoop Dogg Bowl. Like the roles have flipped. Like you're playing in the same game, but not the same team. I like Houston to win this one. It's a close spread, but I like Houston pretty comfortably.
The want to win factor
Yeah.
is with Houston, so give me Houston.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Houston.
Clean sweep
it's-
again.
it's-
We are
it's
setting
weird
ourselves
LSU
up
over there
for
in
a
Houston.
recipe of disaster.
What'd you say,
in this
Reese?
sense.
Said Houston.
You did.
Yeah, clean sweep on Houston again. Next game up would be Georgia Southern and App State in the J-Lab Birmingham Bowl. This is the 29th at 1 p.m. The solo game on the 29th. Where do we think this one's at, gentlemen? Backwards, forwards. Reese, you're up.
Humneers.
All right.
Who won the first time
App.
they played? App did?
Yeah,
Okay.
App did.
Hard to beat a team twice. JP, you were pretty high on Georgia Southern. You think they win the bowl game to close the year out with a winning record?
Absolutely. Yeah, got better as the year went on. This isn't the same team that played App early. GATA, me Southern.
Gata. That's what they say. Gata. GATA. Put me on them as well. Georgia Southern.
Add one more.
They beat Nebraska. I watched it. All right, next game up Tuesday, the last day before we will
I was
talk
there.
to you again. Coastal La Tech, the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl. Get a new sponsor. It's a 1 p.m. kick on the 30th. Coastal and La Tech. Where do we see it? Who wins, Jake?
Do the Texters
Hey,
make the
favorite,
drive?
I would hope.
Yeah, Tech's got to be favored.
Yeah, it's
they've got-
9.5 in favor.
Yeah,
of
I was
La
gonna
Tech.
say
it's gone.
It's a big one, especially with Beck getting fired.
I think
kind of
before
a home game for them. Sorry, JP. What?
No, I was just gonna say when this game first got announced, I think it was a Coastal favorite, like really close spread, and I think this time's gone. It's gone.
I think it was 3.5 at open,
Time will tell.
and now it's
I can't-
9.5.
Sonny Cumbie got to a bowl game. Finally, did what he was asked to do. He did kind of the bare minimum there. I like
doubt.
Tech to kill him.
7-5 La Tech with a dogfight on their record against LSU who can't score. Give me La Tech.
all the way
You're
around.
not going to find anybody on this show not taking La Tech. right?
Rustin.
Yeah, we are
What is-
visitors.
What's the drive
We
to
would-
Ruston to Shreveport? Is that an hour? I think it's an
Yeah, a
hour.
little over an hour, I think.
Ponchatoula.
Over
Go
there.
on down to Ponchatoula's after you celebrate the win, boys.
Tennessee and
Oh, yeah.
Illinois, we already picked. So
I'm
that
from
leaves
home.
one last final game. One of my favorite bowl games to watch all year.
Yep.
Valero Alamo Bowl. USC, TCU on the 30th. It's the night game. Closing out the show tonight. Where do we see this matchup, Jake?
No Josh Hoover. Jaden Maeva got re-signed or whatever the hell you want to call that nowadays.
Yeah, let's
the
not
vibe
do
is
that, by the way.
He's
the
coming back.
vibe with USC is like this was like a 2.5 when it came out, and with all the news, it's like 7. Might get up to 8 at that point. Keep laying it with USC. Do we know will Lane or Lemon play? Like Why would they play?
I would
hope they
doubt.
play.
I would doubt Lemon does. Lane, I can see playing.
It
I'm
always
not
feels
sure.
like Lincoln Riley gets like these young receivers to plug and play in these bowl games. Though they got another one hidden in the chamber for
They probably do. They've
150
recruited
yard
really well in
game.
the last couple classes.
It is
Yeah.
like Riley. Yeah, these are
So-
the top class, aren't they?
I think this has
doesn't.
the chance to be the King Miller show. I like USC as well. I think they cover the
point.
number even up to 8. It's a third string walk on guy who took over with a banged up running back room, and he's been splendid ever since. So give me USC anyway. JP.
Yeah, USC.
Fight
Reese.
on.
All right, USC clean sweep across the board. That's what happens. Some of these
Ooh,
hot
it's coming
scouts,
down.
massive pieces missing.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all the bowl games we will preview and pick. Let's talk best bets to close tonight's show. The best bet in college football from now, every game we've covered, not including the second round of the college football playoff. What's your favorite bet of the week, Reese? You've got one?
Yeah, I went. We talked about it. We didn't really preview this game, but I'm going to go with the Army UConn under 43.5. I think Army spread is what it is. I think
20 to
Army
nothing. Black Knights.
I think Army's going to possess the heart of the football, and I think UConn. Yeah, there's that motivation factor there. Your head coach is gone. I don't know if I see UConn putting up more than 2 scores here, and I think Army just possesses the hell out of the ball.
JP.
Yeah, I like BYU. That's right. BYU
Yeah.
last 4.5, whatever number you want to give me.
Yeah.
All right, BYU and Army off the board. Fellas, come on. If I'm Rose on the Titanic, there's plenty of room on that door for Jack. Get the fuck off, Jack. It's North Texas minus the 3.5. This is my door. I'm riding it. I'm surviving North Texas. Jake.
I can get 6.5 on USC now. So yeah, I'm gonna be taking that.
That's 4 winners, if I've ever heard them. So
Yeah.
make sure you take those
Book
picks
'em.
to the counter. Those are the best bets in college football for bowl season week 3, which that is all. We covered a lot. We will be back on the morning of New Year's Eve. So don't do too much drinking on the 30th. We got to talk to you on the morning of the 31st. We got to preview the second round of the college football playoff that starts that night. Make sure you subscribe to the show at Play the Fight Pod on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button. Let's get to 2,000 by the end of the season. That's the push we are on. We appreciate you more than you know. We will not talk to you before it. So Merry Christmas. Enjoy time with your family. We can't wait to see you again back here in the chat. We love you all. We'll see you next time. Jake, take her away.
Merry Christmas.
Melakaliki Maka. Let's play it.